Greetings from my heart to yours. And for this week's Mind Stiller, I'm going to share with you how I change whenever I get into a negative mood. And this week has been particularly challenging for many of us around the world because of what's happening in the Middle East. But there's always going to be something happening to trouble us. The variables change, but the challenges are always going to be with us. That's just the part of life. No matter how much we do our spiritual practices or how much we help other people, no matter how good we try to lead our lives and eat good food, we're always going to be challenged by the forces that are called by many people the play of consciousness. Jane Goodall was recently quoted. I love Jane Goodall, the primatologist who opened the world to understanding that animals, in particular chimpanzees, which are her specialty, can teach us humans a lot. And that's the subject of my latest book, Hybrid Vigor, how animals have taught me to go deeper into my spiritual life. So Jane said, the old-fashioned way, I can't do it the English accent, of thinking of God was that it was a God of love. But I think he, or she, in my case, is maybe playing with us. Well, we yogis often refer to this existence, being alive, as the play of consciousness. It is not a silly game, but it's a game. There is the game of life. There's always going to be bad guys, good cop, bad cop, things to choose from, diversions, like gender bending. Are you going to go into your sexuality or your spirituality? Because they come from the same chakra, the same second level of consciousness right after staying alive. Have you ever thought about that? This whole sexual thing is really the same as our spiritual energy. It's just been diverted into a different way of expressing itself. How do I know that? Because these things are things that I've lived through, and these are the things that I write about in my books. So when Jane quoted her, or she was quoted by the New York Times recently as, I think God is playing with us. I said, right, this is a play. And at any moment, just like any game we play, we can say, okay, I'm going to change this game. I'm going to get my act together. I'm going to up my game. You can up your game. You can press your third eye anytime you want and change. Just because this is a symbolic gesture, awakening the third eye. It's also called the Christ Center. And it's the place where when you meditate, you do feel a connection of energy here. But I'm not talking about any outside visual thing. I'm talking about pressing it like an elevator button. If we're feeling low, we can press this center, this God center, this cosmic consciousness center, and intend to get higher, up the game of the play of life, the play of consciousness. So whenever I feel low, or I'm just about ready to make an important phone call, or have an important engagement, or do something that really matters for me to be more grounded, more in tune with also why I'm here, to not get diverted with other things like, that's not why I'm here. I've already experimented with a lot of diversions. I know why I'm here, to uplift first myself and then hopefully others through whatever I can offer. So when I do feel low or worried or confused, I do press my third eye and I do have the intention to lift myself up. And if weird thoughts come in my mind, I just watch them like they're on this screen, like the way we see our news feed or the way we see so much happening out there in the world. It's just, we can either engage in it or not. And that's the same with our thinking. A thought comes, we can just say, oh, there's the thought, and there it goes. I didn't engage with it. I didn't talk to it. I didn't say, hey, thought, let's sit down and like really freak out. I just watched it. And in my case, I like to focus on a more positive thought and to listen to a more positive vibration in my own mind, created by my free will, which everybody has. And I use a mantra when my mind is really, it can't just be stilled by going up to the elevator and saying, okay, give me the penthouse. So I will use the ancient mantra Om, which many pronounce as Om. But the Sanskrit pronunciation is Aum. And from Aum also comes Amen. They're the same. Amen. Aum. So just take a few moments. If you wish to change your feelings of, as many people do, anxiety, hopelessness, fear, worry, confusion, and also concern about other people's hardships during these challenging times with COVID, with political unrest, you can help them by stilling your confused and worried mind and sending out positive energy, because positive energy is the best way to help others be relieved of whatever is oppressing them. There have been many studies to prove this, and in years hence, many more will prove that our thoughts have power. Our thoughts can change not only our thinking, our life, our well-being, cure our illnesses, but they can also send relief to whomever, whatever we focus our thoughts' energies on. So join me, shut off your screens, turn your telephones off, or come back later when you can. Give yourself a break, and let's elevate our thinking. Let's elevate our vibration and push the elevator button. The cosmic consciousness center, the Christ center, the place where spiritual energy is centered in our being. And if you wish, you can use a mantra. There's many to choose from. And stay in this place until you feel relaxed, joyous, and filled with enthusiasm. In the ancient scriptures of yoga, that state is called Satchitananda. To have the knowledge, which is Sat, that the light of consciousness, which is Chid, gives us bliss, which is Ananda, Satchitananda. You may only glimpse it for a moment at a time, but the more you press that elevator and go to the top of your choice of elevating your vibration and not being settled for the low vibration, you don't have to do that. That's your choice. The more you choose to go to the top of available vibrations in our human experience, you will be more and more in the state of Satchitananda, bliss, serenity, peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.